Episode 457. I am back finally. Sorry there was no coffee stream on Monday. We were still at the cottage and I was pretty damn hungover. But I'm back and we're ready for the coffee stream. It's gonna be fun. It is Wednesdays with Skep. So hopefully Mr. Talk will be joining us momentarily. But like I said, I do hope everyone had a good weekend. And if you are Canadian, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. And we're back, just to hang out and talk about some news. So I do find it interesting that it really seems to be a rules for thee, not for me situation when it comes to our government. Not just, one country's government, but our governments in collective terms. Because no matter what country, Western country it seems to be, it all seems to be the same narrative. And now, Pinkala was watching a video last night where somebody was talking about Joe Biden and how he wants a 98% vaccination rate for COVID. And Pinkalo said, just wait, that talking point's going to come up here. And we actually do have a news story regarding that. But before I go into this, I just want to say, and also for full disclosure, YouTube, I am a pro-vaccination person, of course, I am. But this overreach and this panic that the government keeps pushing on us, it has to stop. This is not how you get your vaccines into the arms of people. You don't do it by scaring them and badgering them. Like we have federal public servants up here who have until October 29th to show proof that they are fully vaccinated, or they will be placed on unpaid administrative leave. Today, as of today, in my region, hospital staff need to prove that they have at least one dose of the COVID shot, and otherwise they will be placed on unpaid administrative leave as well. Hello, Wikipedia snippet. Hello, selective boy. Welcome. So, this reach, even as somebody who does absolutely believe that vaccines have saved many lives, I do not think that this type of mandate and overreach is healthy. Oh, excuse me. Let alone a basis for a stable situation. They don't even push for this type of a 98% vaccination rate. They don't even push for that for MMR or for polio or smallpox or the flu, or they just don't. Hello, Sora. I don't understand why it needs to be that we push for, of course you want the majority of your population to be vaccinated for a vaccine to work, but putting in the people with the medical issues who can't get vaccinated or the people with religious exemptions, you're not going to get a 98% vaccination rate. And I don't know why that would be something you would push for. No, I keep checking to make sure I'm not missing Skep, but still not here. Okay. So let's get this screen shared. Okay. So I believe this is from CTV. Happy Blame Skep Day. Hello, Costin. Okay, BP. You can stop yawning now. All right. No stone unturned as 90% double vaccination rate sought for Toronto. That okay. Sure. Good luck with that. So yeah, this looks like it's from the CTV. This is from October 12th. So, yeah. What the fuck? Why am I yawning so much? This is really annoying. I wasn't doing nearly as much of this before I hit the go live button. And then I hit the go live button and my brain was like, "Oh, are you live? Here, let me yawn as widely and as often as possible." Happy belated Columbus Day. Hello, Asia Research Directorate. If they think that forcing people out of their livelihood because they won't get the vaccine, they're in for a rude awakening. Yeah. You are absolutely correct, Selecta Boy. This is not going to end well. Okay. The city of Toronto is on a big push to hit its desired 90% double vaccinated target. So it's starting with Toronto. Mayor John Tory said 215,000 people aged 12 and older need to be vaccinated to reach that 90% goal, with 123,000 of those having their first dose and 48,000 considered overdue for their second. Oh my God, you people have yeah. Yeah, this is this is stupid. Okay. Moving on. Gotta skip past this YouTube video. Okay. Quote, "We are leaving no stone unturned," said Tory at a Tuesday afternoon City Hall briefing. Oh. Quote, "We will not give up and we will not relent until we have reached people and convinced them to get vaccinated. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down." Oh yeah, the next King of the Hill. I gotta practice for that. Hey, Elowen. Yeah, I gotta practice for that next King of the Hill, because god damn it, I will win at least one match next time. Fuck, that was horrible. Tory said that more than 82.1% of Toronto's eligible residents are fully vaccinated, and 86.6% had their first dose, and among other Vax2 efforts. What the fuck is a Vax 2 effort? The city is setting up 22 clinics in malls this coming weekend in what he's calling Shop and Vaxxed 2.0. What? What? Are they trying to vaccinate or find the aliens from Independence Day? I don't know, Elowen. I I I really don't know. um wow, okay. This is 82.1% is pretty damn good for how quickly this was rolled out. Um I think that would be that's a pretty good rate. To have a herd immunity for MMR, I think it's what 91% or something like that. Um so 82.1% is pretty good. I just don't I don't Quote, Toronto is a vibrant, world class metropolitan city, often cited as the most diverse city in the world. It is. I've never heard Toronto cited as the most diverse city in the world, except maybe by Torontonians. With nearly half of its population born outside of Canada, over 200 ethnic groups present, and over 140 languages spoken. That has nothing to do with vaccines. Unless, of course, you're talking about some of the cultural fears towards vaccine. I By diverse they mean lots of Indians. Dot, not feather. Um oh wait, I'm about to be monetized. I can't make those jokes anymore. Still still most reporters' questions were about the Tuesday morning closure by Toronto Public Health of Silverthorne Collegiate Institute High School in Etobicoke to 800 students due to transmission of the virus. Oh, wonderful. Davia said that the 11 cases reported so far are entirely within the student population, 9 of which are linked to student transformation at multi-grade events, activities, and social gatherings inside and outside the school. Okay. That's still a problem. Oh, don't worry, it's just running amongst the students. It's fine. People are forced to get vaxxed by threat, and people are taking people's health insurance. Oh, that's fucked up. That is very fucked up. Okay, let's move on here. We will continue to investigate and make recommendations to return to in-person class and activities as soon as possible. She also pointed out Silverthorne was the only one among Toronto's 1,200 schools to face full-scale closure, and said the policy issued of mandated vaccines for all public school students was, quote, within the provincial purview. Yeah, because you do have to, if you attend public school, you must produce your vaccine records for, MMR, diphtheria, polio, rotavirus, all those ones that you got when you were a baby. Um, so I mean, like, I do understand that we do need to reach herd immunity, and to do that, you do need a high percentage. But to say, like, when Joe Biden said 98%, like, that is untenable and unreachable. And also to have, um you've got this is where we have an issue here, because we've got the government making overreaching claims some half the time, and then the other half the time doing things that is normal, like, if you want to go to public school, you have to have, this vaccine added to your mandatory vaccines. um but then you've mixed that in with, if you work for a private company, we are still mandating that the private company has to follow this rule. And also, if you work for the government and you don't have this shot, you're gonna not get any money. Like, that's where I start to do the overreach, and I start to have a problem with that. I start to have a problem when the government steps in and says, take this shot or you don't get to have money to feed your family and pay your bills. And I'm pro vaccine. I'm all the way. Like, fuck, look how I lost my sight. But it bothers me. This, do you want to go do leisure activities inside? Oh, well, I need to see that you have a vaccine, and only this vaccine, not all of them, just this one. Well, why just this one? Oh, well, just don't ask questions, or you're an anti-vaxxer. Well, no, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I have my vaccines. I even have the COVID shot. But why do you only want to know if I have just the COVID shot? Why is the COVID shot the end all be all of all vaccines? That's what's bothering me. That's what I don't like. If you want this done, then you need to just be calm about it and treat the COVID vaccine like a normal vaccine. All of this fear mongering from both sides is not helping. Like, I remember in '98 there was a viral meningitis outbreak among young adults and kids, and it happened in, it was like December, right? And over the Christmas break. And I remember that there was no fear mongering over the meningitis vaccine, right? But there was a very quick, rapid effort and response organized to set up vaccine clinics in schools, in the gymnasium over the holidays. And if your last name starts with this letter, today you come and you get your meningitis shot. And that's it. Everybody in the province that way got done over the Christmas holiday. And there was no freak out about the meningitis shot. It was just, okay, everybody, let's not panic, but let's get this, let's catch this now, right? So why are both sides, right? It's not just one or the other here. Why are both sides making so much panic and so much fear? It's not getting anywhere. It's on either side. On the yes, we need to get vaccinated, or the no, we don't. Neither of you are making a good argument. You're both just look insane, quite frankly. Like I have a friend he's saying some insane shit right now about, he says insane shit about all vaccines, but this one in particular. And then we've got on the other side, we've got the people who want people to be vaccinated, and they're saying horrendous things about unvaccinated people. And they're saying things like, people should die at home without medical care, and uh, it's just crazy. All of this insanity. Why is this vaccine so special? What about it is so special that it is above all of the other ones, and it merits this much attention, whether it be positive or negative? All right, let's move on to the next story. Gee, I hope Skep is all right. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. All right, what is our next thingy here? Oh. Not that. Okay, where is... I know there's one more here. And I've got I think I've got... Do I have one or do I have two? So this is an article from the Toronto Sun that we're going to read. All right. Oh, it would help if I was on the StreamYard screen if I wanted to share. Derba. Okay. Here we go. Oh. Where are we here? There's the share button. Share. All right. All right. So this woman, this British Columbia woman, yeah, the Sora, that's a good point. She says, it's not that I have to show my Vax pass that bothers me. It's the fact that I have to show my ID with my name, birth date, and address to everybody. Yes. That should not, yeah, that is a big thing that I have an issue. BC woman nearly hit by meteorite that crashed through bedroom ceiling. Well then. That's new. I don't know whether I'd want to keep that, sell that, or I don't know. That would be crazy. To have a meteorite fall through your ceiling. I'm surprised nothing caught fire. Let's see here. Ruth Hamilton was sound asleep last week when she was awoken by her dog barking, the sound of a crash through her ceiling, and the feeling of debris on her face. Well then, the resident of Golden said Monday. That would, like I said, she's lucky nothing caught fire. She said she jumped out of bed and turned on the light to figure out what had happened and discovered a hole in her ceiling. Jesus Christ. I hope she doesn't rent. Use some electrical tape over everything but your name. That's an interesting idea. That's new for context. The photo appears to be a meteorite about twice the size of mine. Oh, wow. Exactly. Could you imagine? I would have that thing tested. Hey, Fury Kitten! Yeah, I would totally have that thing tested just to make sure it wasn't radioactive. But again, I'm super surprised that it wasn't still hot and like it didn't catch anything in her house on fire. Do you know what I mean? All right, let's carry on here. A police officer was immediately sent to investigate. She said initially the officer suspected it was debris from a construction site on a nearby highway. And then there's the picture of the hole in the ceiling. He called the quote construction site, and they said they hadn't done a blast, but they had seen an explosion in the sky and light, and then there we are. And then we realized it was a meteorite. Oh, Jesus. They concluded it must have been a fragment from a meteor shower that took place earlier that night. Oh, wow. And for context, Pincalo has a meteorite that is, it's probably a little bit bigger than like maybe two of my fists. Yeah, maybe two of my fists. Maybe one and a half of my fists. But it's really fucking heavy. It's a really damn heavy rock. But if that's twice as heavy or twice as big as that, then holy shit. Will she have to? Oh, that's a good question. Actually, what is it? What does it say? Will her insurance cover the meteorite damage, or will she have to sell it to pay for the repair? That's a good question. Active, yeah, it's gonna be an act of God. Her insurance is not gonna cover that. Let's see. She said the officer soon left, but she couldn't get back to sleep. Oh, well, duh! There's a giant hole in your roof and a space rock is sitting in your house. I don't think I could go back to sleep either. Let's see. However, many astronomers believe that small meteorites should be barely warm or even cool when they hit the ground. Oh, interesting. And selling them is a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yep. I was in shock, and I just sat here for a few hours shaking, she said. The odds of that happening are so small, so I'm pretty grateful to be alive. Yeah, had that fallen on her bed, like on her chest or her head, she would have been dead. Like, no question. She would have been dead. That, yeah, that would have been it. Um, yeah, that would have scared the crap out of me, but also it would have been really cool at the same time. Some meteorites are worth a lot of money. They are, but it's just hard to find the person who will buy it. Apart from being shaken up, Hamilton said she avoided any injuries and says she plans to keep the rock. She says the insurance company has inspected the damage and now she's just focused on having it fixed. Yeah, I like I said, I would totally keep that rock if it was, if it was safe and all that. I would definitely keep the rock. Cuz that that doesn't happen every day. Let's see here. So yeah, that a very interesting story. Okay, let's move on here. Back. Back button. Yes, this one here. All right, so now we have a disability story. Because, like I said, I'm trying to bring those back as well. Okay, good. I did send it. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go share the screen. Here we go. There we go. Over to the share button. There we go. Okay. So, this story is about a little boy who has discovered acting and voice acting, and he has muscular dystrophy. Hey, you just got home. No worries. No worries. The link is in your Twitter and your Discord. So there you are. I will let you in. Let me just get back to StreamYard. Let's get back over here and go to the add button. Past the screen share. There we go. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, just got home, and I'm on the noisy computer. So if this starts acting up, well, I'll just exit or I'll mute or something. But
Okay.
at any rate, yeah, I had to do some emergency Grampy work this
Ah.
morning, and I thought I was going to get out of there and in time. I can't really. It's hard to communicate via phone,
Yeah.
and I just am not handy at that. I haven't installed anything on my phone because I do everything on my PC.
Yeah.
So there wasn't way to get word to you in a reasonable way. So I am
No
terribly
worries.
sorry for being late, but better late than never.
Grampy work is always always presidential over streaming.
It was just stuff that uh, just had to be done. But
Yeah.
anyway,
We have
I'm
Jenna in chat too. Hello, Jenna.
hey Jenna.
And Wiki and everybody's saying hi. So we're just having a little chat. I've got a story up here. There's a little boy who is kind of local to me, like not in the same region, but
In the same
very
country.
very close, very close, like about half an hour away.
It's the same
Um,
countryside.
Same countryside, yeah, same, almost same. I think maybe the same county. No, one county over. Sorry, next county. But this little boy, he's 10. Um, so Puss Lynch boy with muscular dystrophy makes his acting debut. Now, I'm reading this article partially because I'm trying to start bringing more like disability news back to the
Mm-hmm.
stream, but also I also like to read articles like this because especially when they're about kids, the authors tend to get a little we in the disability advocacy world call it inspiration porn,
Yes,
where
inspiration. Right. Yeah.
yeah, where they like, it's really like it is really cool that this kid is doing this, but they like really like the author really like hams it up and
So
makes it,
is this the one that says Poos Lynch? A
yes.
young boy from Poos Lynch has made his acting debut and hopes more kids like him are represented in movies and TV.
Yeah, I and see, it's a cool thing to want to do that, like, and
Mm-hmm.
I get that, because thankfully being disabled is to be a minority,
Oh,
because
this
we.
this article goes downhill really
Oh,
fast.
it
Like a
does.
lot of
I read some of it already.
oh my God!
I haven't read the whole thing, but I read some
It
of it.
it makes it 6 sentences before it
Yeah,
just degrades completely.
it does. But it's like, I understand wanting to feel represented or whatever, but honestly, I always felt more represented by characters who had like the same personality as I did,
Mm-hmm.
not the same like immutable characteristics as I did.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
I just because Mary went blind in Little House of Prairie doesn't mean I love Mary Wilder. You know what
Right.
I mean?
That's
Like,
not what makes you love Mary Wilder. What makes you
no.
love her is her personality, her unique personal characteristics, the courage she showed, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Like, Little Women's another fantastic example for me. Like, I
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
pissed off that any of the sisters were I wasn't mad that the sisters could see. I was like, I really identify with Joe. Joe
Right.
is me. I am Joe. Like, yeah, I'm pissed off
You
all the
are, and
time.
you are Joe. You are
I'm
Joe.
pissed off all the time. I'm sarcastic. I hate femininity.
Yep.
I'm Joe.
Yep.
And I've always chosen to identify with personality traits rather than physical characteristics. But so
The
this,
the problematic sentence is when this kid goes. Nyland adds that he's proud to show off what makes him unique.
yeah.
Nyland was born with a condition called muscular dystrophy. It says unpronounceable. Nyland's mom. It affects his skeletal muscles. He's not able to walk or run. And he's proud of that. He's not proud of any of his accomplishments, not proud of who he is, his personality. Nothing. He's proud of the fact that his skeletal muscles are affected by this disease. That's what makes him proud.
Like, my mom and my dad never raised me to be proud of being blind,
Right.
right? They raised me,
Separates you from certain other blind people.
right? They taught me that, you know, yes, you are blind, that makes you different, but that doesn't mean you get to like use that as
Yep.
an excuse or a cudgel.
Right.
What you should be proud of is what you accomplish in your life.
Yep.
It doesn't matter whether you're blind or not. If you get something accomplished that you wanted to accomplish, that is something to be proud of.
The thing is, when you sit down at the banquet of life, you have an array of menu choices. Some
Yep.
people have a larger array of menu choices than others. I'll tell you a story that really points this out. I've told it on this stream before, but it's a quick one. There's a guy in Colorado. He uh, uh, was a success. I think he was a successful stockbroker or something like that. Anyway, he was out on his motorbike, crashed his motorbike, ended up losing his legs.
Mm.
Thought his world was over. But he taught himself to fly and had an airplane outfitted with hand controls only. So the rudder controls and the brakes were,
Nice.
on the yoke. And and then he crashed the airplane and lost his arms and was badly burned, to the point of not being able to, being essentially a quadriplegic.
Right.
What did he do? Did he stop?
Nope.
Did he wallow in? No, he ran for mayor.
Yeah.
He was the I think he was the mayor of Telluride, Colorado.
Nice.
And he just, guys like that just succeed at whatever they go after, in spite of the things that are put in their way, because they look at life as, okay, when I started out, when I had hands and feet, there were a million things I could do. When I lost my legs, there were 250,000 things I could do. When I became a quadriplegic, that knocked it down to 50,000 things I could do, but I could still do those things and go after them.
Yep.
And if you take that attitude, you can do an end run around envy.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing that you have to get around is Shakespeare said comparisons are odious. And
Yes.
he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
So this little boy says, more kids with disabilities should try more things. That little boy, I will agree with you on.
Yep.
Absolutely, more disabled kids should try more things, and also it's partially because their parents. A big problem with with um, with disabled kids is not the kids.
It's
It's
the
the
parents.
parents who, when they find out that their infant or young child is disabled, shut down and go, "Oh my God, my kid is not what I thought my kid would be. I'm not. I can't do this. Therefore, my kid can't do anything." And they do everything for their child, and they keep their child right close to them, and everything is horrible because they just don't. It's partially because they themselves think that if they became disabled, they would have their life would be over.
Right.
So automatically they go, "Oh my God, my kid's life is over."
Right.
And then that transfers to the kid. So, this little boy is absolutely right.
Yep.
Like
Well,
more.
what's the only thing that would be more horrible in our society than being disabled? Well, that would be being a disabled person of color. Please
Oh,
read on.
oh God. Okay. So this says uh, the 10-year-old started acting in 2019 after advice from his physiotherapist. Oh, cool. Her daughters are in acting and said, quote, "Oh, I came across this part. They're looking for a child with a disability." And we said, "Okay, sure, why not?" Said, I'm not sure how to pronounce his mom's name.
Thad Sheikah, but
Yeah.
that's unpronounceable. Is just the name I give her.
So Nyland says he continues to audition because he didn't see enough kids on TV like him. Well, no, because we're minorities, dude, and that's a good thing. Um, and I mean being disabled.
Why isn't there a muscular dystrophy channel?
Quote, the representation for a child with disabilities, but also as a person of color. Yeah, there are no people of color anywhere on TV,
They
ever.
just don't ever get
None.
representation. None.
Nope.
Yeah.
There are no people of color on TV. There are no children of color on
The
TV.
awards show looks like a meeting of the Ugandan Rotary, and but yeah, it's not a person of color to be seen anywhere.
I'm
Why can't
sorry.
we just treat everybody normally and let the people who are good at things win the things that we want to award them? There's way too
It's
much.
so it says it's important for us, said unpronounceable. Quote, quote, he was turned down because the script was not written for a child with a disability. So that was hard for us to see at the beginning. Okay. Let me explain something to you, ma'am. Your child, well, I'm sure he is, he sounds very precocious and very like well spoken and everything. But if the part that he auditioned for calls for like, a lot of movement, he's not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Yeah.
Like, and I go through this all the time, like, because people say all the time, oh, we need more representation for for disabled actors. They need to hire more disabled actors. And you know what? There are some parts where, yeah, you absolutely should have a disabled person playing the role, because they could probably do the the stuff better than a able-bodied person could, acting as that disability, right? Mm-hmm. But my example that I always use is, there is no way a totally blind actor could have done Daredevil.
Right.
None.
Right.
Absolutely no possible way at all.
You have to rewrite it.
You would. And because the like basic scenes, there was so much switching between inside outside shots in that movie, and different parts of outside, like the subway tunnels, rooftops,
right,
streets, alleyways, like just all like the orientation and mobility nightmare for the blind actor playing Daredevil.
Yeah.
Alone, not to mention all the sets changing, cables everywhere.
No, like it wouldn't even be safe to try.
No.
But the interesting the next sentence might be confusing to everyone because it makes absolutely no sense. I just want to call it out. It says, for his voice work, his dad built him a sound booth, and the pandemic allows him to record from home. Did you hear what I said?
I did.
And the pandemic allows him to record from home.
Because before the pandemic, nobody was doing any,
home computers weren't a thing.
No, home computers weren't a thing, and nobody was doing, content creation before 2019.
I'm trying to parse that sentence, and I can't.
There are no
nonsense
Minions of the Zoo broadcasts before COVID. There are no Ranting Monkey broadcasts before COVID. There are no Lords of the Night. There's no Irate Alex. There's nothing.
No blind press.
Yeah, no blind press before Corona. It was just this magic thing.
The pandemic allowed us to exist. The pandemic allows him to record from home.
this is what I mean by this is why I wanted to read this, because authors do this shit. They take, like, I guarantee you some of this stuff, like, they might, because when I've done a couple of newspaper articles and stuff, there have been things that I know I've said, and like the author goes and writes and kind of spins it a little bit. You know what I mean? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's not at all what I meant, but okay. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so this says, while acting is his passion now, it will likely only be a hobby as he grows older and pursues his goals. What? How do you know what his goal?
Well, he
Oh,
states it in the next
I
sentence.
want to be a scientist so I can find a cure for muscular dystrophy, said Nyland. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
If you put your mind to anything, you can achieve it. Anything you want. No, no.
He
Sorry.
said absolutely spontaneously and not prompted by his mother.
No. Yeah. See, and this is one of the problems that a lot of, like, to bring it back to blindness, a lot of people have problems with the National Federation of the Blind because they have that attitude where, there's, oh, there's nothing a blind person can't do. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, there
We can
are
be airline pilots. We
many
can be
things that blind people can't do, but there are also many things that
fly the
we
space
can do.
shuttle.
Yes, I should have taken Shatner up, god damn it. Jordy could do it, I could do it.
Actually, as much piloting as they did in that capsule, you actually could have done that. As could a block of wood.
Push a button.
It's not even that. It's just wait for it to be over. They're basically a group of people in an elevator,
Yeah.
and they got their uh, Bill Shatner got to ride the penis into space, and there
And
you
now
go.
there are people that are upset because they're like, well, his comments on it were really weird. And I'm like, what? Were you expecting a fucking Captain Kirk monologue like the one he gave? Do you remember in Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, I think it was, where he's talking about the where he's talking about the United States Constitution to
Yes,
the, yeah, were you
yes, yes,
expecting
yes.
that? Like this monologue? Like, what were you expecting? The man just went to space.
Yep.
Like, and that's what he came up with on the fly after going to space.
Yeah.
Like, and then of course they're like, oh, I would have never paid millions of dollars for 11 minutes in space. I'm like, do you know how expensive it is to go up there?
Mhm.
You morons.
Yeah. It's something like $10,000, a pound or something like that. It's just stupid expensive.
Jenna, that's a very good question. If being disabled is so great, why does he want a cure?
I love Jenna's inexorable logic. That's the logic that is honed by raising lots of kids.
Yep.
Just answering question after question after question. I get a little bit of a taste of it being as I'm in my second generation of children now. And I know exactly what you mean. Being disabled is so great. Why does he want a cure?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't he want more kids to be disabled? So they can be proud too. Proud of their disability. I just can't even.
Like, I don't understand. Like, I've seen people, I'm blind and proud. It's like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Or did you see the argument Ranting Monkey got into with the girl who was mad that someone was cosplaying a character in a wheelchair? And
No, I
and
didn't. I'll check that out.
and Ranting Monkey was like, I was born normal, but I've got, I've become disabled and whatever. And she's like, born normal? Yeah, that's horrible. How could you say it? Like, she's all upset. Disabilities are normal. And I replied to her, I'm like, I have literal lumps of plastic in my head. That's not normal.
Fair. That's fair. And uh,
Yeah, let that be your last battlefield. Was the one with Lokai and Beale. Yeah, that's the one I'm
yep,
thinking of.
yep.
Cause cause Kirk goes into this monologue at the end because they're both being racist morons. Oh, people are just I just and then we've got I you know I'm over on the TikTok. I've kind of going to bat for one of my fellow blind content creators on there because she put out a video about just some of the things that she does to make her kitchen more accessible, like what she labels and all that. And somebody else who is she says that she's visually impaired, but she's also a it's called a rehab
Mm-hmm.
therapist.
Yep.
So they like teach you how to do independent living skills and all that shit.
Yeah. It's
So
kind of a racket, but okay.
it is a yeah, it is a racket. Um so she very nastily says that this lady over labeled her microwave because apparently you shouldn't label all the buttons for as a blind person. You should only label the ones you need. Well, what if you need all of them? Sighted people need all of them. They're labeled for all sight for in print. Why the fuck shouldn't somebody label it all in like anyway? But she was very snarky to my friend, and then her comments are restricted,
Mm-hmm.
and
Of course,
you can't it's called
inevitably.
and you can't stitch her videos, so like you can't take a part of her video and react to it or anything, like all of that is turned off. So I made a little video this morning, and I tagged her in it, like the rehab therapist, and I was like, I find it very disconcerting that you, as somebody who works with blind people, felt the need to shit all over the way a blind person labels their personal space. And they didn't say anyone else should do the way they did. They were just sharing how
Mm-hmm.
they did. And you felt the need to criticize that in a very rude way and then make it so that she or nobody else can interact and refute what you've said. And I'm like, if you are this petty and dismissive of blind people on social media, I shudder to think how you treat your clients.
Fair.
Because it's true. Like, if you're going to be that, if that's how you're going to act, and you're not going to, like, listen to other blind people over something that dumb,
Yeah.
like, how are you going to treat the people that you're supposed to work with?
You know, there's so many things wrong in that whole stream of thinking
Yeah.
that uh, it's almost hard to dissect it logically. Um, People who are encouraged to it's like recognize my suffering
Mm-hmm.
and then respect me for how courageous I am. You must respect my courage.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the undertone that I get from all this.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what people respect, what people actually respect, are people who do the best with what they have, regardless of what basket of goodies life has handed them,
Exactly.
and live their life with dignity and quiet courage,
Yeah.
without calling it, without saying I'm a disabled person of color. I trump you.
Yeah.
No, that's not amazing to any of us, and we'll be polite. We'll wait for you to stop talking, and then we'll try and get away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
So And that's why I don't associate with certain blind acquaintances of yours anymore, and why they have me blocked on Twitter.
Trippycast says, I'm still wondering why ATM machines have Braille. Well, do you mean the drive-in ones?
The walk-up ones.
Because the walk-up ones have Braille so that, people like me can, take our money out.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Because blind people get to have bank accounts.
but the drive-in ones, the one thing I can think of is like if you've got a passenger in the back seat on the driver's side or
No,
something.
it's much easier. It's a much easier explanation. I actually was a teller.
Okay.
They buy Diebold, who makes almost all of those machines,
Mm-hmm.
makes only one plate, and it always has
Makes
Braille on it.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Well,
all.
because it's a
There's
waste of.
nothing weird going on there. It's just they don't different. Oh, we don't need Braille for the drive up. we'll we'll save a billionth of a penny.
Yeah.
Per unit. This will add 75 cents to the company's profit. But and will except the administrative cost of segregating those out, will cost us about $20,000. So they just said, screw it, we make one faceplate for all of them, and that's it. And
Yeah.
that's what they do.
Pincalo says they used to be made up here until like 2006. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Those machines. I didn't know that.
There was Canada got a lot of the northern states manufacturing.
Yeah.
When it basically left the United States in the 60s.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because we've got we had at one point up in just my region of Ontario in the 3-4 hours around me, we
mm-hmm.
had I think it was 2 or 3 GM plants.
Yeah.
We had we had a lot of a Chrysler plant and all that.
Yep.
We still have Toyota.
I was just going to say Toyota plants left the United States and headed to Canada.
Yeah, we have Toyota and we have Volkswagen. No, we don't have Volkswagen. I think we have. I know we have Volkswagen dealers, but not.
We've got a Volkswagen plant in Kentucky. I know that. That's. But at any rate, yeah, your German automobile is made in Kentucky.
Is there a specific? Oh, is there a secret mode for ATMs where they audibly talk when using Braille? No. So what you just have to do is now the shitty part is that most of the banks actually turn the speech feature either down or off,
mm-hmm.
which they're not supposed to do because it's only supposed to recognize talk when you put the headphones in.
Yep.
But yeah, it's what you're supposed to do is go up and put the headphones into the headphone jack, and then it should start talking to you. But unfortunately, a lot of the times the speech thing gets turned down, and you don't know how to turn it back up. So you still have to go and ask for a fucking customer service to come help you, and then trust that they are going to turn away from you while you're entering your PIN. So what I always do is I stand right in front of the screen,
mm-hmm.
and I lean over like this, so my whole chest is and torso is covering the screen, and then I put my hand like this, and then I put my other hand under and enter my PIN. Because I don't know that the teller could say, oh, I've turned away, but I don't know if they've turned back.
Yeah. You can't tell if someone is watching this, so you have to physically guard the angles of view. And that's that's a problem. We actually were briefed on blind people. This is long before ATMs. Yes, I was a teller before ATMs. Just let that sink in for a minute. They were just coming into fashion. They're just the brand newest thing. And as I was leaving, they were installing these new things called automatic teller machines. And we were but we had been, occasionally you have a blind customer, and we were instructed to take their hands and count the money into their hands,
Yep.
and count each bill into their hands. So they're cashing a check, or give when you give them we gave them paper receipts. That was your receipt back then,
Yeah.
and they got a copy. Actually, they got a copy of the receipt, and you put it in their hands. Say, this is the receipt for your deposit, and you read the amount back, and so forth. And if requested, you also had to maintain their check register for them. Sometimes they would have sighted people at home who would go over their checks, do their bank reconciliation,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so you would enter in deposits and withdrawals into their check register. I
Oh,
only
like
ever
help
did
them
that once.
balance their bank book and stuff like that type of deal.
Absolutely. We were a full service bank.
I
Huron Valley
remember
National Bank.
I remember I remember still having to go into the Canada Trust before it was TD Canada Trust.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having to go into Canada Trust with my mom because she had to go balance her bank book.
It's
And that was in the 90s.
oh jeez, really?
You gotta go take care of my bank book. Oh, Mom. I don't want
Boy,
to go stand in the bank for an hour.
that's so old school. Really
Oh.
old school. So
And
anyway.
I still remember I went to Washington, D.C. with a stop in Gettysburg on the way there for an American history field trip. And I got some spending money before I went down. And we had to, when Mom got the American currency exchanged, we had to literally go and sit down and figure out a way that I was going to fold each denomination so that I could remember
which one was which.
Which one was which. And then it broke my goddamn wallet. By the time I got back home, I needed a new wallet because the fucking money
was folded
so many ways. I'm like, you goddamn Americans, you broke my wallet with your stupid money.
Yeah. That's one thing about the cashless society. It can't come soon enough for people with sight disabilities, and I can understand that as I get older and older, and my sight gets worse and worse. It things I used to take for granted, and I have to haul out a powerful pair of reading glasses just to even be able to see. It's a drag, but it's I guess it beats the alternative. At least for now, it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my friends.
Pinkella was saying that the Waterloo region itself, the region that you guys live in, was a major manufacturing history, and it goes back to the turn of the 19th century.
Yeah, if you've ever used something from Electrohome, stuff like that, like an Electrohome vacuum, or like
use the Electrolux. I wonder.
Oh no, Electrolux is different. But no, we had Electrohome up here. Freaking.
Did they make good vacuums?
They did, yeah.
I mean, because that would mean that they suck. Vacuum joke. Can you ever really have enough vacuum humor?
And then there was even recently, freaking BlackBerry.
Oh yeah,
came from here.
Sure enough. I forgot about that. Yeah, but there's heavy manufacturing up there too. It's not just electronics.
No, there's
I know there's big industry up there.
Tons of steel and
there's a specialty steel industry up there. I know that, and that's did a paper on that in school. But anyway, we're getting way past your lunchtime.
And I want to thank everybody for joining me and Skep.
I'm sorry I was late, but it was in a good cause. I just was running like crazy.
And then we'll collaborate on a topic for Star Trek on Saturday because it's going to be and Irate will be back. Yay! Irate will be back. And don't forget, Beat the Blind Girl tonight on Twitch, and come back Friday at noon for another coffee stream. And also, don't forget, there will be a Coffee Shots premiering tomorrow at noon. So keep an eye on that.
So come and join us.
Yes. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Skep is not the father. Bye, everybody.